the spin in all as the two sets of players take the knee under the whistle of Simon Hooper. No room for racism, and off we go on 5 Live then. Villa in the cloud and blue and white shorts, kicking from left to right with Emi Martinez in goal. He was having a little chat with Romero down in the tunnel area moments ago. Their back four is Cash, Konza, Torres and Digne. Kamara and Onanu comes into the side. McGinn, Rodgers and Guesson behind Marlon, although they started with Marlon and Guesson quite high together. Guesson for Watkins, who's only on the bench after picking up that injury for England, and Onana is the other change coming in for Bogart, who's also on the bench. Rob Green, how do you think it's going to go?
It's going to be tight, Jonathan. I think you're looking at two teams in form and maybe not with the performances you're expecting from Spurs, and been a little bit stodgy at times. It'll be interesting to see with that little change, Danso on the ball, if they manage to get pressure on him early on, whether Villa can get any joy. But their positions, Guesson is playing on the right, McGinn on the left, and Morgan Rodgers almost as the second striker, number 10 moving up to help Marlon. That's where they're going to be under pressure, because Tottenham pushing up high now off the ball on the halfway line. They know there's no real out ball other than over the top.
Villa on the attack, look for the shaven head on Marlon, wearing 17, away on the far side from us. Guesson looking for his first goal since joining from Nice in the summer for £26 million. Versatile player, strong player, quick, can play as a centre forward on the right, on the left hand side. As Rob was saying, he's on the right hand side with Rodgers in that free role. Perhaps hasn't hit the heights he did last season, Rodgers. We were talking about this in the build up to the game, weren't we? Why do you think that is?
I just think it's Villa's form hasn't been as good. He needs the space. They've not been stretching the opposition. They've not turned anybody around, and realistically there's not been that space in there for him. It's going to be interesting today, because Spurs, they look like they're going to be aggressive off the ball and say, we're going to press high, we're going to make you come at us and try and play through us. So finding Rodgers in space will be key for Villa today.
Haven't missed anything, because Simon Hooper, the referee, was having something done to his earpiece in his left ear. He's back on the field of play, all these hours of preparation, and here we are 2 minutes in, and the gizmo fails, as is always seems to be the case in 2025. Strange, isn't it? Anyway, across, scuttling at the back for Villa was Pau Torres towards the left-hand side to get away. Drops inside the centre circle. It's Wilson Odobert, one of the 20-year-olds in this Spurs side. Average age 25.1. It's a free kick given here for a challenge by Mohamed Kudus, just inside the Tottenham half. It's about 10 yards in from the left-hand side. It's 6 yards inside the Tottenham half, to be precise. Could tell by the alternate strips of cut grass. And Villa push out to Cash on the right touchline. He bends across. It's too deep. It's all the way through, and it'll sail away for a throw-in then for Tottenham Hotspur. How much of an upset will that be to lose your captain just before kick-off?
I think it's big, but it happens that quickly, and just before the game you never really think about it. I think you're looking at a player who, if they do take the lead and they are under pressure towards the end of the game, then he comes into his own, then he'll really be the firefighter that we know he can be. But in the middle of the game, in the midst of the game, in the build-up to it, you just turn to your teammate, good luck, get on with it, we trust you, and Danso's one of them.
Konza, who played very well for England against Wales and Latvia in the right-back position. That versatility could well give him an assured nod to be on the plane out to the United States in the summer. Back to Emi Martinez, who will be the Argentine number 1, you'd have thought. Rolls out here to Onana. They've taken a chance, and they got picked off there. Spurs eventually forcing down on this left-hand side through good work by Tell. Is it a corner kick? I couldn't see from our commentary position. It is a corner kick. They took a chance there. The back pass from Onana, and Tell has cannoned it off Cash for the first corner of the game.
Yeah, the Tottenham are 2v2 at the back, so they really are pushing up high, asking the question on Villa.
Corner kick then to Tottenham Hotspur on their left-hand side. They're crowded beyond the far post, sort of Arsenal style that. They all rush in from beyond the far post area. It's headed away by Guesson and comes back out then to Spence, who did himself no harm at all with his England performance. It's a lovely deep cross into the middle. It's a chance, it's a goal! Rodrigo Bentancur for Spurs from 8 yards out. It's a beautiful Beautiful deep cross beyond the far post, headed back into the middle, and Bentancur scores for the first time since just after Christmas. 1-0 Tottenham.
Well, it's a wonderful ball in, and it's a wonderful start for Spurs. Kudus with the quality, and it does everything for Van de Ven, who's drifted out beyond the far post, waiting for the cross. He's the last man beyond all the Villa defenders, just waits for the cross. He's in an ideal position, and Bentancur, it's wet, it's slippery, and it skids up off the surface, and he does brilliantly to control his volley. You could have gone anywhere, really. It takes a little flick off Onana on the way through, but a lightning start from Tottenham.
1-0 they lead. Bentancur so crucial for them, along with Palhinha in the holding midfield roles. Deflected beyond Martinez by Amadou Onana, and Aston Villa are behind. Spurs' form at home this season in the Premier League fickle. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat. They've been better away, and Villa's chance now to try and get back in the game with a loopy pass through to Gesson, which is gathered by Guillermo Vicario. You wouldn't miss him on a dark night. He is wearing bright, vibrant, fluorescent orange.
It's a problem now for Villa, because Tottenham are pressing very high and the pitch is so skiddy.
It's a great crossfield ball again, looking this time towards the Spurs right hand side. It's 2! Flag is up against Kudus, won't count. But they opened up Aston Villa far too easily with a big diagonal. Kudus judged it far better than the Villa defender Lucas Digne, and he rackled the shot and skidded beyond Martinez, but he's what, Rob, a yard off? 2 yards off?
Yeah, it is, and it's a really disappointing motion. It's the worst motion of the whole move. It's for Kudus just to drift offside. There's no need. He stood in front of the referee's assistant. He's got the view of the whole pitch. The ball is not a ball that he can't get to, because it's going to take that long to get to him. It's a real let-off for Villa. They have not started at all. They're sleeping.
And evidence there of the way that Spurs mix it up this season more under Thomas Frank. They will go long under Thomas Frank, and that was a long ball that caught Villa out.
And you can see why, because of the pace of Kudus, because of the acceleration that he's got, and the distribution of Van de Ven. Villa have got real problems here. They can't get out, they can't play through Spurs. They've got to find an answer quick, because, you know, that could have been 2-0 within 8 minutes.
Spurs fans love a genuine winger, and they adore Kudus here. Villa find Digne between the penalty area and the far touchline, and he's gone off alarming at Pau Torres, I think it was. His pass out to him lacked a little bit of spice, a little bit of zip. They hold up, and therefore the defender could get in and win the challenge. So it's a throw into Aston Villa on 5 Live, and Tottenham lead by a goal to 0. Celtic beaten at Dundee. England 2-8 for 8 the end of the innings against India in the Women's World Cup. A victory takes England through. Stabbed out the back by Danso for Tottenham Hotspur. And Villa have possession in the centre circle. Keep you up to date with Exeter against Harlequins in the Prem a little bit later on in the afternoon. And Spurs now defending. Villa have possession with Gesson. Plays it back then to Matty Cash. Boos for him from the Spurs fans. Out of wide again to Gesson. He's a talented player, only 22. Big step up to come from Ligue 1 to the Premier League. Better league than people say it is, though. Ligue 1. Again, boost for Matty Cash. The ball springs back off the challenge and ricochets back here then to Rodgers, just inside this near touchline. 1-0 Spurs, and he's hounded by Palhinha, and it's a throw to Aston Villa. He gets through so much work, Palhinha.
Yeah, he's fantastic signing for them. Just a steady influence in front of the back four, and Morgan Rodgers screaming at the fourth official that the ball was flat. He was desperate to stop the game. He couldn't do anything with it. Like playing with a pudding.
Rob Green with us on 5 Live today. He stepped down the line, 5 yards, Cash to take a throw, and a lot of you will welcome this decision from the referee Simon Hooper. He tried to steal yards with the throw. Simon Hooper says that's a foul throw. Tottenham then have the advantage, and I know a lot of you listening today on 5 Live have been crying out for that to happen. for so many years. So the referee taking an authoritative stance. Simon Hooper doesn't always have his supporters in the game, but when I've seen him this season, he seems to be improving. Simon Hooper.
Jed Spence made sure he was rooted to the spot when he took that throw-in, and he made his mark, hasn't he, Simon Hooper? It's interesting, Matty Cash, I think a couple of years ago, made a bad challenge on Bentancur, and the Tottenham fans are remembering that, not their favourite person at the moment.
Here is Bentancur, who was out for a while, injured. He's caught in possession, and Aston Villa now have a corner kick. He was pressed hard there, Bentancur, gets a couple of low fives from his teammates. Mickey van der Ven.
Well, that's exactly how Villa conceded, was being pressed and giving away the corner, so a chance for Villa for redemption.
1-0 to Tottenham, 10.5 minutes gone. Tottenham had the ball in the net twice, second one through Kudus, ruled out through offside. This will bend in wickedly if he hits it right. John McGinn, right arm raised. Marlon's in at the near post. Same beyond that into the middle of the 6-yard area, half cleared, whacked by Cash, another deflection. Which way is this going to go? System says corner, referee points belatedly. Tottenham fans at that end groan.
That was a guess. They weren't sure. I think it hit Konsa, and Konsa was desperately keen to get out of the way because it was a vicious strike on target going through bodies, well, into bodies, and it hit Konsa and went out. So a little bit of an opportunity for Villa they might not have got.
Tottenham will be happy if this goes in. McGinn again with it, this time it's deeper beyond the far post. Good call there to Paulinho from the goalkeeper Vicario. Paulinho ducked and he went to play for a goal kick. 4 defeats in the last 6 meetings for Spurs against Aston Villa, as many as in the previous 29. They lead here by a goal to nil. They haven't been brilliant at home, as I was saying, but they have been getting the results, and they started today 14 points out of a possible 21. That compares to 15 points from the previous 72 available. Been a dramatic improvement for Spurs in the league this season, not just in the league, even though they have been a bit scratchy, as we've been saying here. Here's Vicario, then in goal. The Italian international, sat on the bench recently a couple of times in the break. And Bentancur dropping very, very deep. Gets it back again from Danso. Understudy this season. Danso came into this with just 90 minutes of Premier League football under his belt, as Rob was saying in the build-up, played in cup matches, but he's talented and was a good player when he was at Lens. And here's Bentancur, 1-0 to Spurs on 12.5 gone.
It's very much a 4-4-2 for Aston Villa. When they're out of possession, they're holding a mid-block. They're not camped on their edge of their own penalty area, but halfway in their own half, and it's when they've got the ball, almost a game of cat and mouse for Tottenham. They know they can't really get through with Bentancur and Paulinho. The more likely ball is the long ball from Van der Ven. They've got Simons, they've got Odobert, they've got Kudus, Hantel, all up front waiting for that ball. It's waiting for the right moment to do it.
There's Van der Ven for Spurs. Short sleeve shirt. Mickey van der Ven will wear that shirt if it's minus 25. Danso, long for Spurs in the lily white, up then towards Matisse Tell, out to Kudus on that right hand side. Spurs knocking it short, then Paulinho seeks Kudus again to take on the fullback. Digne digs in deep and is fouled by Kudus as they both turn together. You know, they love a winger here, Spurs. You go back to... I was looking at pictures of the 80s, the early 80s meeting when Villa were a wonderful team, about to win the league and the European Cup the following year, and Spurs had the likes of Hoddle in the team. People talk about Hoddle and the stars and that, but remember Tony Garvin, he was a terrific winger, you know, back in those days. They've had Waddle here. They have a Klinsmann wide on the left-hand side. They love a winger, don't they, here?
And they love him already, Kudus.
Yeah.
Coming across from East London rivals is always a welcome move for Tottenham fans, but he's at times lit up games. There he did brilliantly, just flicked it up and over around Luca Digne, who himself did really well.
Might be a free kick here to Villa. They go on though, the referee has allowed it to go on, and eventually the shot is wide by Matty Cash. He was going to give the free kick because Gesson was pulled back. He allowed it to go on.
Yeah, really good from Simon Hooper. And Matty Cash didn't really capitalise as well as he should have done 22 yards out. You've got both corners to aim at, take your pick, and just dragged his shot. But from that fast start from Spurs, you're feeling that Villa steadied themselves, they've woken up, they've got themselves into the game a bit now.
And Tenka into the feet of Tell, couldn't hold it up. There's a big switch sprung away to Kudus on that right-hand side, goes out of play. Started the season well. Have Norwich got any dangerous wingers? What was the score yesterday against Bristol City? I haven't noticed.
15 minutes and 13 seconds until you bring up Bristol City winning.
Did they win? Played out then. We were together at Fulham yesterday, Rob and myself, and said look forward to tomorrow. And I have to admit, I said my mood will depend on the Carrow Road.
Yeah, particularly chirpy today, shall we say?
Unbearably so. Here's Cash. And he's back to the halfway line. Consistent. It's Boubacar Kamara, but hasn't had an influence on this game yet, really. Konza to his centre-back partner, Pau Torres, tall, dark-haired, orange boots, switched out wide to the left-hand side. The ball from Wigan had too much space and slips away from Digne, and away it goes out of play for a throw-in to Tottenham. Frustration etched on the face of the chisel-cheeked Unai Emery, wearing a big padded coat down below us. It's not that cold, but it is drizzly. And now Spurs look to counter. Still in their own half now, crossing the halfway line is Jed Spence. Rolls the ball out wide to Wilson Odegaard. Cash got contact on him. Odegaard kept his feet. It's partially keyed away. Now comes to Rodgers. Spins the ball outside of his right foot. Villa trailing 1-0 to the left-hand side, which brought under control by Marlon. Chasing off after it was Porro. He won it. Marlon fouled him. It's a free kick to Tottenham. There's plenty of energy and hunger in this Tottenham side today.
Yeah, good from Porro. Poor from Marlon. You're looking, and they managed to do really well to win it back through Matty Cash, and he was the out ball there. He was the release just to get the ball up the pitch and hold it up, and he didn't do that. Porro just stealing it and then committing the foul, and it's just little moments like that that keep Spurs up, the energy up, as you're saying, the intensity's there.
That should be offside as Spurs look for Tell. I'd guesstimate he's 5 yards offside. Got far too early. Don't forget, first of two Premier League commentaries coming up for you today. We go to Anfield a little bit later on. Liverpool against Manchester United with the maestro up there, John Murray, commentating from up there. Much better commentary position at Anfield than it used to be. One commentary position was up in the gods in one stand, the other was precariously perched in the far stand opposite the tunnel. And well, it used to have pigeon poo up there just to paint you the picture. It's a free kick now to Aston Villa in the centre circle. Little foul in there on Kamara. Simon Hooper, the referee, less hirsute than he was in his younger days, I would suggest. Stood next to him. Villa play out then to Cash. Cash, that's a good ball into the penalty area. Kesson chasing off after it. What looked like a good ball in the end ran away from him on this greasy top surface as a goal kick to Spurs. We lead 1-0.
Yeah, a lot of these balls now are skidding on through, and it's been raining them quite heavily before the game, and normally the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium takes a while to fill up, but everyone was in their seats very early for this game, hiding from the rain.
Vicario all in orange at the other end. Emi Martinez all in a sort of cherry red. What was your pick? Green. For green.
Keep it in brand, yep.
That's all right.
Yep. It was green or silver, anything traditional.
Back in the days when you could only wear a yellow shirt if you were an international goalkeeper. And you only picked the Subbuteo standing goalkeeper if you were daft. Headed away now to the corner of the Spurs penalty area, where Odegaard, tricky, lovely mazy dribble, carries to the halfway line, did really well, pass dropped short to Spence, and that's a whiplash challenge that came in on him from Gesson that will impress his manager, who won't be impressed with the fact that Morgan Rodgers is limping back to the halfway line, and Spurs have a lot of space now as Danso pushes wide to Porro, who loves to attack on that right-hand side. He's halfway inside the Villa half now. Tottenham leading 1-0, cross all the way through the penalty area, comes through to Odegaard, but again skipped off the surface, and it's a goal.
He puts his hand up and apologises there, Porro, because Simmons was Odegaard, was free on the far side, and it was a poor ball really. Tell had done a clever thing by drifting round the outside of Cash and just blocked off his ability to get out to him, and from there you're thinking just execute the ball well, and he didn't.
Don't forget you can watch the highlights now on Match of the Day, 10:30, BBC One, Mark Chapman, Troy Deeney and Shay Given, who was with us earlier on 5 Live, and you can see extended highlights of Dundee Celtic and Saturday's Premiership action on Sports Scene on BBC One Scotland from 11:20. Jed Spence for Tottenham. Curious how he never got a look in, did he? At all here for so long, having joined from Nottingham Forest, from Middlesbrough, I beg your pardon. Now, this is a good ball down the right-hand side for Spurs. Kudus wriggling on the edge of the penalty area, tried to cannon it through 2 players. It deflects off and on. It's a Spurs corner.
There's a wonderful sense of anticipation when the ball gets to Kudus, that normally you hear a roar from the crowd that the winger gets the ball, but here they stand there and there's fans are waiting going, what's he going to do? Because you're never quite sure what's he going to take a man on with. Is he going to put it through his legs, over his shoulder, whip the ball in?
When I mentioned the wingers, dear oh dear, I think I forgot Chris Waddle. What a winger he was for Spurs, by the way. Possibly the best. I get a corner kick here then that Kudus will take beyond the far post. Good catch by Martinez, and made sure it didn't go beyond the far post. Rose and Gathers always has a little bit of treatment from the fans here. Former Arsenal player, of course, who didn't get many games there. 217 of his 318 career games have come at Villa. We have a foul now from challenge on Rodgers, and then another foul challenge is on Gesson, but the referee's pulled it back for the first, and I think he's going to caution Danso for the second as he went through Gesson. Or is it it's not him, it's Van der Ven.
Yeah, for the first. That was there is the tactic, how we are going to deal with Morgan Rodgers today when he gets any space whatsoever. Go from behind, go hard, don't give him an option of turning. That was maybe 2 seconds too late, but very, very premeditated from Van der Ven.
Danso was a little bit fortunate, he got away with the second one as well. But the free kick had been given for the first. Villa play into Kamara, high press on him from Spurs again. Now it'll break to Onana, trundling through the centre circle, fine challenge by Palhinha, mopping up again for Spurs, who will springboard onto the attack. Odegaard out wide to Tell, 10 yards in from the left-hand touchline, advances to the edge of the penalty, slips a pass into Odegaard, goes down. Spurs fans want a free kick, think it was outside the box. Simon Hooper had a clear look at it, says nothing. 1-0 to Spurs still, and Villa look to counter now. It's a bristling game, this. And a free kick is given for Gesson for pulling back on Van der Ven.
It does come to life at times, doesn't it, Jonathan? You're looking about, I think he's looking for it more than anything. There's no real tackle in on him, and he's thrown himself to the ground more than anything out there, and that's what referees look for now, is the reaction, the overreaction, so we say. And if you do that, you're giving yourself up a bit, really. They're that cute to it now, referees, and so from there, Spurs had the chance to, Villa had the chance to break, but it does feel very, very slow, very, very steady at times, but then the light paper is going to be lit at some point.
Brought in the August of 2024 from Burnley, but he had a bad injury, didn't he? Recovered in time to play for the French under-21s in the Euros in the summer. They reached the semi-final. He played for them recently as well again. Very much one for the future. He needs to learn lessons because he threw himself to the floor there. Unseemly there. This is Pau Torres for Villa. Misplaces the pass. Their passing today has let them down at times. We're 23 minutes into the first half at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 1-0 to Spurs. Goal came early through Bentancur, deflected in. Spence to the feet of Odegaard with his tinted hair and his orange boots. Back it comes then to the tall upright figure of Palhinha, steady in possession. Very rarely looks as if he breaks sweat. Palhinha, terrific for hardly got a start, you know, at Bayern. 10 starts in his year there.
It was a very odd. They were crying out for a defensive midfielder at Bayern for years, weren't they? They signed Palhinha and thought, no, not that one.
He's done so. Into the penalty area. Porro's taken up an attacking position inside the Villa box and forces a corner kick off Pau Torres, who gets it away. In his third league start this season, Pau Torres. Spurs have a corner kick. Second of the game, I think it is, away on that far side from me. It'll be taken then by Mohamed Kudus, a Ghanaian international. Scored in the international break against Comoros. Left wrist bandaged. right hand raised. Tottenham have players going in towards the near post. It's gone long beyond the far, and I think that came off Odegaard last. It did, and it's a goal kick. He turns to the referee, arms outstretched, pleading. I do think it came off the French-born left winger. Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, it did. Goal kick.
It's a curious corner that everyone runs to the near post, and Kudus hits it way beyond, and everyone's eyes, and as a goalkeeper your eyes get drawn by all the players running across you, and then the ball over the top is a dangerous one because of where your attention goes and everything around it. Some little stealing in round the back is quite a clever one.
Applause for Danso as he rose highest there to head the ball out of play for a Villa throw. They trail 1-0 on 5 Live. They have a throw then halfway inside the Tottenham half on the left-hand side. The ball is in the right hand, raised above his head of Luca Digna. No movement ahead of him. Marlon's gone across that and then trots in the field. McGinn comes behind him to take up from the throw, and then it's given away, and in the end it's out of play again for a throw to Spurs, I think. Don't forget you can have a review of the weekend's Premier League action, updates of West Ham Brentford tomorrow on the Monday Night Club from 7 o'clock tomorrow, and a little bit later on today from 8 o'clock, live commentary of the US Grand Prix with that very tight turn one. Damon Hill, former world champion, part of our team. Harry Benjamin is there. Jenny Gow, of course, will be there as well after the incident-packed practice sessions and whatnot. Throw for Villa. Rogers had crept in behind Bentancur, was aware and got it away. Drops here to Kudus. He squirts it out up towards the halfway line. Konsa is the last man back for Aston Villa. Been a regular over the last 18 months or so. He's only missed 7 of their last 77 games now. Konsa really emerging as an important member of the England squad. Konsa has possession. The bandage on his 2 of his fingers on the right foot. That's a lovely ball forward from him though. Looking for Marlon. That's great strength by Danso. Just to shrug him off and then turn it away from Porro. Excellent defending.
Brilliant defending and really needed.
And they counter again at speed, Spurs. And they find Odegaard. Odegaard into the penalty. Martinez has spilled his shot. Plops onto it, gathers. Squirming moments for the Villa goalkeeper, but he got there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure Martinez whether to parry. He knew, because of the angle of the shot, he knew that he couldn't parry out straight back into play, and there wasn't the angle to parry it wide, and Pau Torres recognised it really well to protect the ball, to allow Martinez to come out.
Martinez, not an ever-present this season. It's curious because he's only missed 10 league games in 6 seasons, but there was that situation. Would he stay? Would he go?
He didn't think he was staying.
No. He's back in the starting lineup now. And, for Argentina against Venezuela, he's been brilliant for Argentina over the last couple of years. 24 clean sheets in his last 30 internationals. And off to America next summer. They've already, of course, qualified. Here's Van der Ven. Expects to be there with the Netherlands. Spence. Now Odegaard has been lively on this left-hand side. 1-0 to Tottenham with 28 minutes gone. They have possession in their own half. It's at the feet of Sharpolina. Trots into the Villa half, then thinks twice about it, rolls the ball to his left-hand side to Rodrigo Bentancur, and on it goes then to Van der Ven. One of the quickest centre-backs I think I've ever seen. And again they play along the line of the back 4 with Rodrigo Bentancur in there as well as a fetcher and carrier at times. Danso, right-footed, square to Van der Ven. They're trying to draw Villa out here, aren't they, Rob?
At times there's absolutely no one for Tottenham in midfield. You've got the back line, the forward line, and nothing in between. And it's whether someone wants to drop into that space or someone wants to go beyond.
Then we get commentary continuing on Sports Extra of the Women's World Cup. Group game India against England with 288 for 8 from their 50. The night 109 and a 300th international for England. Amy Jones got 56. Captain Siva Brunt got 38. Knights 191 balls. We're seeing pictures in the stadium of Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins, who crashed into the post on England duty, you remember, not fit enough to start today. Well padded up there, chewing gum down on the bench as Villa have possession with Ezri Konsa. I wonder if it was ordinary mint or spearmint. I guess we'll never know. And it's Bentancur now for Tottenham Hotspur inside his own half. Might have been a juicy fruit. Can you still get juicy fruit? Villa, switch play to the left-hand side. They have possession with Luca Digne twisting and turning, 2 Tottenham players on them. They've done well. Porro can hear the cries from the crowd, the cheers from the crowd as he turns it down the line, and it's the throw to Tottenham. Well played that, the two of them, Porro and Kudus.
Yeah, a good battle out there on that far side from us. It's a curious case here when Villa have the ball. The key to everything for Aston Villa is Bentancur in midfield for Tottenham. Because when Kamara goes to get the ball, it's his decision of whether he presses or not, leaves his space. Then Van de Ven has to come out of his space to fill up the space where Rodgers is going to be. That leaves the hole in behind. That's what Villa are waiting for. And when Danso made that recovery run moments ago, that's why he had to make that run. And Villa are waiting for that moment, waiting for that opportunity to pounce. And it's whether Bentancur goes or not.
Onana, just a yard inside the Spurs half, far side from us on their left there. We switch out to Cash once again. Booze with memories of that challenge on Bentancur. It was thought to be almost a career-threatening injury for a while. Bentancur was badly missed. It's one brilliantly back though by Paulinho, and now Spurs have a counter with Matisse Tell, who's got some pace, the young international. But as he tried to wriggle into the penalty area, there was Kamara to get it back to Konsa, and Aston Villa calmly deal with it in the end with the ball square away to Torres, who will clear it away, and Villa have a player down inside the Tottenham half. It's Amadou Onana who is stricken.
Paulinho took everything in that tackle. He lined him up from about 5 yards away, waited for the opportunity and just went through him, and it was a brilliantly timed tackle. From that, you're thinking, Tell, you got the opportunity, you're facing goal, you're going to go, just changed his mind a bit, lost control of the ball, the opportunity went.
Echoes of a Graham Roberts challenge there at the back for Spurs in the midfield. João Palhinha. Graham used to put challenges in like that often, frequently, and often and frequently opponents were hurt. High ball to the far side to set up the goal was a lovely ball. We're seeing it again here on our little TVs. What a lovely cross.
Yeah,
that goal.
Real quality, a moment of quality that you're looking at to say you've got the player that you want in that position with the ball. Can you deliver? We saw Porro on the other side. He's the other one with the ability to cross, and you're thinking, go on, do it. And he didn't, but Kudus did that time. And it looks so simple, and it looks like so straightforward that it's just a header back across and then a volleyed finish. But to do it at pace, to do it with one touch, to do it with the execution is exceptional.
All the Spurs, fantastic ties over the years. They've had their gifted players, but they have had a Graham Roberts, they have had a Dave Mackay. Villa as well, when they had that wonderful spell in the early 80s, they did have a Tony Morley, they did have a Gary Shaw, but they had Dennis Mortimer in midfield to win challenges. So important to have that mix. Now, how are we doing in the cricket, Kevin Howes?
Drop catch, I'm afraid, early on. If you're an England supporter, that is, of course. India need 289 to win this one. They're currently 8 for no wicket in the third over. The drop catch, Pratika, the opener, dropped by Charlie Dean in the cover, should have taken that off the bowling of Lindsay Smith. 8 for no wicket, third over, need 289.
England will go through if they win that one. The pressure will really be heaped up on India if they were to lose. Here's Cash looking long for Villa and looking for the run of Gesson, and Vicario has to be alert and race out of his penalty area and hook it away for a throw then to Villa. I can't see what's happened down below me, but there are ironic jeers, so I imagine the supporters tried to catch the ball and fluffed it and dropped it. On we go now. Spurs fans gather their voices and their passion. Villa fans in their numbers away in the far corner of the ground, sort of around about 11 o'clock if you think of the Tottenham Stadium as a clock face. Here's Gesson. Gesson plays infield then to Kamara, covering back for Spurs, doing a good job, and he's worked hard up and back, is Xavi Simons. Aston Villa have possession. Now they look for space on the left-hand side. Digne, can he get the flashing crossing? Goalkeeper came under pressure from Marlon, got a big contact on it. It's cleared away back to the Villa left-hand side. McGinn, Digne, and Porro gets across the block, plays infield, slipped away from Paulinho. He's lost possession in a dangerous area, and so too is Onana, and Spurs can clear it away. A little bit patchy there.
Yeah, really good recovery from Kudus, and Paulinho will be thanking him because it was slow and ponderous on the ball in your own penalty area. took a poor touch and then really didn't want to lash out and clear the ball like he wanted to.
Here's Simon, only 22, bags of ability. Really settle at Spurs and really live up to that potential as he finds Hotspur attacking the penalty area now. He's in the box, takes it to his right-hand side, still has position, no he doesn't now. Didn't want to do too much on it, and Amadou Onana stole it away from him. Rolls dangerously back into his own penalty area. Konsa was under pressure. Villa still have it between the box and the touchline, and eventually they clear up to Gesson. That's a nice touch, but not by Rodgers. That touch was heavy, and it breaks back to Van der Ven. He finds his goalkeeper 30 yards away. Tottenham leading with 10 minutes to go in the half, 1-0.
That was really poor from Rodgers, wasn't it? They did brilliantly to get out of such a tight corner. Gets on with really good centre-forward play to lay it off to your teammate. Sounds simple, but to get a good weighted pass into Rodgers, I think it surprised him because his touch was so poor. I mean, he must have gone 20 yards.
Played so much football, though, in the last year. 74 games for club and country, in what has been a huge step up for a man who didn't make it at West Bromwich or Manchester City. And really thrilled us last season. And he's such a talented youngster. He played an awful lot of football. Wicket, India, England, Kevin Howells.
That drop on Pratika, not too costly. She's just gone for 6 now in the third over. So the target's 289. India 13 for 1. Pratika, good low catch. Toe end of the bat. Caught by the wicketkeeper Amy Jones off Lauren Bell's bowling. She has gone 13 for 1 after 3 overs.
Good game so far for Amy Jones. Scored a half century in England's innings. It's cleared away here then by Vicario. Towards the half line, towel shirt's been tugged all over the shot by Konsa. The referee was blindsided. No flag raised by the assistant, and Aston Villa can nudge into the Tottenham half. They've had a lot of possession. Simmons goes in with a good challenge though. Rodgers didn't see him coming. He was blindsided as well. Villa still have possession, trailing 1-0. It's on the right hand touchline now. The ball is at the feet of Evan Gesson. Gesson nudges the pass into Rodgers, who squirms beyond Simmons and cracks in a brilliant equaliser. 1-1. Simmons went to ground, didn't make the challenge. Rodgers took it on one step and then absolutely lanced it home. Morgan Rodgers' first goal of the season, and that will do him the world of good. First goal since he netted against PSG back in April. 1-1.
What a strike. Get a little bit lucky with a ricochet in there, back to his feet, but from no backlift whatsoever. 25 yards out from the right hand side. The dip, the power, everything leaves Vicario absolutely no chance. It's a glorious strike from Rodgers. It's something that Villa kind of working their way back into the game, but with no real great threat, have just pulled something out of nothing. It's a fantastic goal.
First shot on target for them. Did he guarantee the dip with the way he struck the ball?
Yeah, I mean, you go back to Ronaldo, who was the first to really trademark that sort of drive down into the ball, but with no backlift whatsoever, no real inclination to say, well, go on then, have a go. If you're Spurs, you're thinking, go on, give it a try. Boy, did he give it a try. He has ripped it.
14 last season, his first this season. Start of a big week for them. They go out to go-ahead Eagles in midweek in the Europa. Go ahead Diventa, that club used to be called. They always had a very good youth team tournament there. I think someone told me this week that youth team tournament is still going on. It was famous back in the day. Here's Kudus on the right hand side now for Spurs, stung by the Villa equaliser. 1-1 it is. Porro links up with Kudus, who whips in a cross straight though, thud into the chest of Emi Martinez. They say he's the best in the world. I wonder what Rob Green thinks about that. We'll ask him in a moment. Rodgers goes to ground, no free kick given, and he's hurt himself. Rodgers, as he fell, he signalled to the bench. He's got a problem with his calf, his left calf, I think it is. Simon for Tottenham. Now he is fouled. He is fouled. This time he's fouled by Kamara, and the referee, as he looks across to his right-hand side, sees a little bit of a squabble breaking out between one or two players. Onana's involved. So too is Simons, and the referee's going to call the young Dutchman towards him. He's saying he hit him in the... Simons is suggesting to the referee there was contact made to his face. Simon Hooper trying to calm things down and talking to the captains.
Yeah, took real exception to whatever John McGinn had done in midfield. I think John McGinn was desperately keen to stop the game, whether it be by hook or by crook, and Villa down to 10 men, and Rodgers prone on the ground. He's seemingly in real trouble. Signal straight away, in a lot of pain.
Got away from the first challenge, then wriggled, and as he wriggled, he went down, and he immediately felt down to, it's the left calf, isn't it? Let's have a look at it again. It's contact made on him as he goes beyond Paulinho.
His ankle. I think it's his ankle. When he with that first tackle, he sort of stepped away and then rolled over on his ankle.
He immediately, he was in a sitting position, but he immediately signalled to the bench. Well, wouldn't this just be like Morgan Rodgers' season? He scores a spectacular goal and he's walking very gingerly towards this near touchline. His right sock is now pulling back up. They'll try and see if he can walk it off. What a goal he scored. Similar sort of check back actually there to when he's picked up the injury, check back.
Yes. Yeah, I think he just rolled it, and sometimes when you go over on your ankle, it's the ligaments that go over, or the tendon, and you just hear a crack or feel a crack. And I don't know whether he did that because seemingly his reaction was one of real panic. But he's up and he's bright and he's fine now. Aston Villa have got a free kick to defend.
Just chatting to Unai Emery down there on the touchline. Rodgers taking a swig from a water bottle. Free kick for Spurs. It's 24 yards out from goal. It's almost plumb dead centre, maybe a yard to the left. Porro will take it then for Spurs. Right-footed, can hammer the ball, hasn't scored since May, but he's got a good strike on and takes a step to his left, then moves back onto the ball, plays it out to the right, it deflects off Simon Hooper, carries to Kudus, in comes the cross, and it should have been buried at the far post there by Tell. Completely missed the ball, and it's away for a throw, and inadvertently Simon Hooper would have got an assist, I think, of some sort. Villa now protest. John McGinn's gone to the referee.
Well, John McGinn's saying you should have stopped the game, but there was no discernible change in the outcome of where the ball went. Therefore, it's under the referee's discretion as to whether he needs to stop the game or not, which Simon Hooper said, well, the ball was going out there anyway. It got out to the man, and you're right, Jonathan. Tell at the far post should have buried that on the volley. He had all the time for it to drift to the far post beyond everybody. It was an air shot from him.
Martinez roams as he nearly was caught in possession, but Villa clear it away. Here is McGinn now. 1-1 it is on 5 Live. Good first half here. Really intense pace about the game. Porro for Spurs on their right touchline, halfway inside the Villa half. To Kudus, cups his body to make him stronger against the challenge of Lucadinha behind him. One of my mentors in the game was a player called Jerry Gow, and he used to tell me, go low, bend low, make yourself a boulder, don't stand tall like a willow tree, because willow trees can be chopped down.
He wasn't a goalkeeper then.
Little Jerry, about 5'4" of absolute dynamite. And it's Tottenham in possession. And the ball's at the feet of Kevin Danso to the right-hand touchline. Long ball played down the right by Porro, seeking the run of Tell. Needs a run. He's having a few starts. He's got 3 goals in 3 games for a club and country, scored in both the under-21 games for France, but he needs a run of goals in the side. It's going to be a throw to Tottenham, 5 yards inside the Villa half. Going to be a throw to be taken by Porro. 1-1 it is with 90 seconds to go in the half. Plays in then to Paulinho. There's a good challenge on him. It deflects off Paulinho. And away for a throw to Aston Villa. Unai Emery pensively looks out from this near touchline. Hawkeyes down below us. Chewing on gum is Thomas Frank. The man who's done so well, not just here, but he was brilliant at Brentford. It's going to be a throw to Aston Villa. Rolled all the way back then to Pau Torres, just outside his own penalty area. Goes to Martinez, who passes out with feet to Konza. Konza trundles towards the halfway line, still going, and then gives away possession again with a sloppy pass. Seen that far too often, possession turned over.
Yeah, that pass into the front men, because they haven't got that out-and-out number 9 who's Gesson and Rodgers and Marlon sometimes are just looking to go beyond. They need that ball into feet, and it's not in that instinct to stand and wait for the ball, and so they're struggling to get it into the front players. It's been a keenly contested half, and you're thinking Sunday lunchtime games can be a little bit sleepy at times. None of that about this.
Don't forget England have taken an Indian wicket 13 for 1 India. Last time we heard from Kevin Howes, chasing 2.89 to win. England did well, a little bit of a slow start. Amy Jones accelerated, Sivan Brandt added 38. Heather Knight was again the main run scorer with 109. Porro is fouled after playing the ball, and Aston Villa unhappy. John McGinn, once again unhappy, says that Porro ran into him. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Been a little bit higgledy-piggledy in the last 5 minutes or so.
It's disjointed, hasn't it? And John McGinn not really doing a lot, really, to block him off. He made the call, Simon Hooper, but just a step and a little shrug, and Porro, we could hear the scream from up here. We're 2 tiers up and a whole pitch away. You could hear Pedro Porro go down.
Feel 5 points worse off at this stage of this season than they were at the same stage last season, when they went on to finish 6th, reach the FA Cup semi-final, Champions League quarters as well. Beat Bayern in the Champions League, beat PSG, and comes across from Porro, headed away by Pau Torres. Shooting opportunity to Simon. You could hear the crowd go, shoot, shoot. He didn't. Plays to Odegaard, in comes across, and it's headed up and over by Mickey van der Ven.
Yeah, nice ball in from Odegaard, but he didn't have the pace, and he was a little bit behind Van der Ven. He had to really curate it round. And the Aston Villa defenders just left him asking a bit too much of his standing captain.
Huge day of sport on 5 Live. Liverpool Manchester United commentary to come for you. Then we've got, of course, the Grand Prix from the USA from 8 o'clock on 5 Live. And it's Van der Ven underneath it now to head it away. Header plops to Odegaard, being chased by Cash, so he plays the ball 4 or 5 yards back to his own penalty area, and Spence to the goalkeeper, who rushes his clearance away, and Aston Villa have possession again on the halfway line. Onana, where he's been pressurised, good pressure again by Tell, and here's pressure by Simon on the goalkeeper as Villa played it back to Martinez, and he fly hacks it up towards the halfway line. It's won by Van der Ven, and there's an offside flag raised because the Villa player who challenged had come from an offside position. The referee says don't worry, go on. I think he's had a good game, Simon Hooper. Did that little kerfuffle moments ago that he sorted out. It wasn't a kerfuffle from the tradition of years gone by, as Porro crosses into the middle. Big Tottenham appeals for handball against Pau Torres. The ball ricochets away to the right, back to Pedro Porro. My first reaction is it hit an arm. If it did hit an arm, it was low and in a natural position. We haven't seen a replay.
Well, he's moving his arms to put them behind his back, which is the ludicrous natural position that we assume that defenders are allowed to take now. So I'm not sure what he's supposed to do with them other than sort of have them down by his sides. And even if it did his arm, there's nothing to it.
Most unnatural position for a defender under pressure is to put your arms behind your back. Here's Spence, yard in from the left-hand side, to run his man. He's turned to the ground. Is he? No, it's a good challenge by Gesson. Meaty challenge. That's a foul by Simon, who came hurtling in on Boubacar Kamara. It's just ill-timed, rash challenge. Simon Hooper, quite rightly, shakes his head with a wry smile on his face, as if to say to Xavi Simon, what on earth were you doing with a challenge like that? This is the penalty we're seeing again.
Well,
hit him on the flank.
Clean on the hip, shall we say? Yeah. Gesson saying get off to Jed Spence there. It's really good defending, good strength.
So we've had, what, 40 seconds, 3 minutes and 40 seconds of the stoppage time period on 5 Live. 1-1 it is. Tottenham took the lead with Bentancur. Rodgers with a special equaliser. Driven home powerfully with dip. Just a little bit of wiggle on the ball as well to deceive Vicario. It's only the 10th goal he's conceded in all football this season, and only the 5th in the league. They came into the Spurs with the 2nd best defensive record in the Premier League this campaign, behind Arsenal. Here's Spence now for Spurs. He's about 25 yards from goal on the left-hand side. Simon is gone to ground. No free kick given. The ball breaks to Spence. It's a good ball to him from Odegaard. Oh, now is that handball by Onana as he slid it in on the ground. It's a corner kick given. The referee was well positioned. Onana, big smile on his face. Clearly thinks it wasn't, and there's not much of an appeal. So the only person dramatising the whole event was the man with the microphone. Let's have another look. Oh, that's not a handball.
There's a lot of appeals from behind the goal, and sure, we're taking this handball to the extreme. It does have to hit the player on the arm, doesn't it?
He was bracing his body with the arm anyway. I think it hit him on the back. It's going to be a corner kick for Spurs. In it comes to the middle of the 6-yard area. Half cleared away, and the clearance will now be completed, and the half-time whistle blows. 1-1 Bentancur for Spurs, put them ahead on 5 minutes, and then Morgan Rogers levelled just over half an hour later with a fine shot from the edge of the penalty. Good first half here, Rob.
Yeah, hotly contested half, and it's been a midfield battle in there. You know that Tottenham want to put pressure on Aston Villa without the threat of a centre-forward, out-and-out centre-forward. And so from that, there's been a lot of misplaced passes, a lot of contests in midfield, 2 real moments of quality. Kudus with the cross for the goal, then Rodgers with the strike for the reply. It's 2 moments that have been, in a hotly contested but entertaining first half.
Has been hotly contested, not the heat of generations. If you want to see an example of that, on social media this week someone put up a photograph of Dave Mackay holding Billy Bremner by the throat. Those were the days, eh, Steve?
Is that a threat? Rob, Morgan Rogers, I mean, like we said, his England form has outstripped his Villa form. That was very much a welcome back at club level.
It was a fantastic strike, and it was one moment. We talked about it before the game. Just go do it. Just do what you want to do. You're the player. You're the man to get the ball in that position. Then go do what you can do. And he just did it. He got a little bit of luck. He tried to play a through ball, got the ball back, took a couple of touches out of his feet. Not much out of his feet. Not a lot of backlift, but then wham! He just smashed it almost into the ground. But from that, the whip and the dip that JP was talking about just gave Vicario no chance, and then the celebration up in front of the Spurs fans, a little bit of a cocky strut. Thank you very much.
I don't think there's anything, Rob, that immediately comes to mind that he can't do, Morgan Rogers. Do you see what I mean? He's got everything you could want for that. I suppose what in modern football might be called a 9.5 position, because he can go either way.
Yeah, but he does need space, I think. I think he does need that element. And you're looking at Paulinho and Bentancur, and they've marshalled the lines and the balls into him. And there's a moments of education there with the very, very best in it. Work it out during the game. They say, well, that pass from that angle doesn't work. Let's go and try this. And in this moment, I'm not sure that's quite there yet. That's another step in the education to say, can you work out the pieces of the jigsaw whilst the game is going on? And those guys who do that are the very, very best. Now, that is praise in itself. So, you're looking at going, what's the next level? Well, work it out for yourself on the pitch while the game is going on.
Really interesting point. Thank you for the time being, you two. So Spurs 1, Villa 1, half-time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Second half commentary to come. Then we'll be off to Anfield for Liverpool versus Manchester United. Let's find out how India's innings has got underway against England at the Cricket World Cup. Kevin Howells.
Terrific work from England's bowlers in the first 8 overs. 29 for 1 is the India score. Of course, 289 is the target. So we're moving into the 9th over. First bowling change here. Nat Sivabrant has been brought on. The 1 wicket. Pratika's gone for 6. Wicket for Lauren Bell, bowled beautifully, so too Lindsay Smith. Target 289, India 29 for 1 in the 9th over.
We'll talk rugby union. We will get some reaction to Dundee's 2-0 victory over Celtic in the Scottish Premiership, and we'll be at Anfield for the first time this afternoon, all after the news with Richard Foster.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Israeli military says it's carried out airstrikes on Gaza after accusing Hamas of making repeated attacks on its soldiers behind an agreed withdrawal area under the ceasefire. Hamas says it's committed to the deal, which was signed 9 days ago. Our correspondent Frank Gardner is in Jerusalem.
An Israeli military official has said that Israel has carried out an airstrike in response to repeated Hamas attacks on an area to the east of the agreed yellow line. And Hamas have vigorously denied any suggestion that they are planning attacks in the region.
The Metropolitan Police says it's looking into reports that Prince Andrew tried to use his police protection officer to get information about Virginia Giuffre before she accused him of sexual abuse. She said she was among the girls and young women exploited by the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Thieves have escaped with several items from the Louvre Museum in Paris after breaking into a gallery containing some of the French crown jewels. France's Interior Minister says the stolen pieces are priceless. Here's the art historian and detective Arthur Brand.
This is the theft of the decade, targeting the Louvre, stealing probably the crown jewels of Napoleon and his wife. So it's breathtaking theft. And, it's very difficult to defend a museum. They can always come in with guns. And in this case, there was probably a lack of security.
The government's announced plans to train and recruit more workers with skills for the shift to low-carbon energy. Ministers hope to double the number of jobs in the sector by 2030 and reduce energy bills. The Home Office says 16 more people who entered the UK illegally have been returned to France this week. It takes the total number of returns under the one-in, one-out migrant deal to 42. And Dickie Bird's funeral ceremony is taking place in his hometown of Barnsley. The former cricket umpire died last month, aged 92. It's understood he wanted the service to take place at the weekend so that more people could go along.
On Radio 4, the more you listen, the more you see.
It feels like Mad Hatter's Tea Party.
I'm Amanda Nucci, and this is Strong Message Here, where we stress test political buzzwords and phrases.
Ordinary people are slightly related to the Westminster bubble in the sense that they're not in it. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very burstable.
Every week, along with guests, writers and comedians, we'll cut through the waffle.
Like something out of the thick of it, innit?
Strong Message Here, decoding the doublespeak of politics. Listen on Radio 4 and BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Tottenham won, Aston Villa won in the Premier League. Second half commentary on the way. One match in Rugby Union's Prem this afternoon. Exeter Harlequins gets underway in the next 3 minutes at Sandy Park. Owain Gwyneth is there.
Yeah, round 4 of the Prem sees Exeter welcome Harlequins to a wet and windy Sandy Park. Rob Baxter immediately hands Wallabies pair Tom Hooper and Len Ikitau their Exeter debuts. Both started in Australia's third test win against the Lions over the summer and will hope to steer the Chiefs to their second win of the season. They're 2 of 5 changes to the side that narrowly lost to Bristol last week. The Quins arrive here off the back of an impressive third consecutive London derby victory against Saracens. A dominant performance led to Quins' first win of the season, helped by a dazzling display by Marcus Smith. The fly half starts again today, as does prop Harry Williams, returning to the club where he won 2 Prem titles and a Champions Cup. Similarly, scrub half Stu Williams is on the bench after swapping clubs over the summer. Kick-off a couple of minutes away.
Already today in the Scottish Premiership, Dundee beat Celtic 2-0 at Dens Park, so Celtic stay 5 points behind the leaders' Hearts in the Scottish Premiership. Here's Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers.
Performance-wise and result-wise, it wasn't the level that we would expect. We didn't do enough with the ball. We had over 80% of the possession, and we weren't clinical enough and creative enough in the final third of the pitch. And of course, whenever you go a goal down, it can happen. The set piece, the cam gets blocked off and they get the header. But we still have a long way to go in the game. Second goal's a poor goal from our perspective, getting done on the counter-attack and giving the ball away cheaply. But I think the story of the game really is probably what's been the challenge for us throughout the early part of the season. It's another game where we haven't scored a goal in, and when you can't do that, then it puts a big pressure on you.
Got to find these solutions pretty quickly, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, 100%, and that's my responsibility to do that.
Obviously, Hearts, that game comes after you. There's a lot being said, but bottom line is there's still a lot of football to be played. It's still early, isn't it? Really?
Very early. I think that, of course, you want to start fast and you want to finish strong, and our start really hasn't been to the level that we would want. But we have to find a way to be much better. You can't deny that.
And finally, just one more I have to ask you. Obviously, the protest that happened at the start of the game, when the team's kind of struggling, things like that don't help, do they, when it becomes stop-start? We've got to waste time getting rid of these things. I get the fans are frustrated, but there's got to be other ways and better ways to show that frustration than disrupt games.
Well, listen, we still have a game to play where we can get the result. When they score, there's still an awful lot of football in the game. The protest has nothing to do with getting blocked off in the corner and losing a goal from a counter-attack. So it's something that we have to look on the pitch to find the solutions rather than look outside, and that's my job to do that.
Brendan Rodgers there with Gavin Wallace. Dundee manager Stephen Pressley also speaking after the match. Here he is.
Proud's the word. We came into the game, we'd worked exceptionally hard over the last couple of weeks. Going into the international break on the Aberdeen result, there was a lot of suffering. It was difficult, but we reacted in the best possible manner, and like you said, I couldn't be prouder of the group of players today, because you can work on certain aspects, but the execution of it is down to players. You need the players, and I thought to a man they were brilliant today.
That's just Dundee's second win of the season, and it takes them up to 9th back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium shortly. Spurs 1, Villa 1. Second half commentary on the way. Then it'll be all eyes on Anfield. Liverpool versus Manchester United at 4:30. Correspondent John Murray, former Liverpool and England man Stephen Warnock, both there. And John, I say it every time that we talk about this fixture because you have to say it. It is one of the big days in any Premier League calendar.
Well, it is, and that's because of the global interest. We say this every time, but it's as true every time we say it as it was the previous time. That's been the case for decades and decades and decades now. So, yeah, eyes and ears will be very much focused on this all over the planet, and I can tell you the weather for it is pretty filthy. Just as we were hearing from Exeter a few moments ago, it's also right up the coast here. The rain is swirling in, and there's a really tricky wind swirling around Anfield as well, up where we are.
England have taken another wicket at the Women's Cricket World Cup. Kevin Howells.
Yeah, and it's the wicket of Harleen Deol, and she was batting really nicely. 24, she's gone 4 of 31 balls. The spin of Charlie Dean, LBW, so she's gone, it's 2 wickets down. Target 289, 42 for 2 after 10 overs. She stayed out there for a little while. They were not happy about something. I'll try and get to the bottom of that, but the most important thing, target 289, India 42 for 2 after 10.
Afternoon, Stephen, all right?
Hi, Steve, how are you?
Hello, yeah, really good, thank you. So looking at this weather, right, is it the kind of like, oh, I don't mind a bit of this for a Liverpool-Man United game, or is it that bad that you think, whoa, I could do without this?
Yeah, a little bit of a could do without it. Could it ruin the game a little bit if the winds get up a little bit too much? It's nice to have a bit of zip on the pitch, but yeah, you'd like stiller conditions and a little bit more even ground for both teams.
John, I was talking to Ali Bruce Ball about this morning, about Liverpool, Manchester United, the fixture. One of the strange things about it is it retains that immense global interest. It's been an awful long time since they were both challenging at the top end of the table, though, hasn't it? An awful long time.
Yeah, it's kind of swung in my time of watching Liverpool, Manchester United from back in the sort of late 70s, early 80s, where Liverpool were dominant. You know, Manchester United were less so, and then when it switched around under Sir Alex Ferguson, the opposite applied, and now we are where we are now. So yeah, that is the case, and because of that, very often it's felt like the team that weren't the pace setters generally did very well.
What do you read, Stephen, into Liverpool recent form and Manchester United recent form? Are either of them indicative of anything wider, good or bad?
Well, I think Liverpool's form isn't as bad as people are making out.
Right.
You're 1 point off, well, they were 1 point off the top of the league going into this weekend's group of games, and okay, they haven't been at the races and perhaps haven't excelled as to the way that we thought they might have, but that's because the price tag of the amount of players that have come in and the money that's being spent. However, whether people say it's true or not, they're still in a grieving process. I don't care what anyone says. I think every single game, every single interview, Diogo Jota's brought up, rightly or wrongly, and the players are finding that very, very difficult to deal with. And it's not just the players, it's the staff as well. Now, there's an element where every time that you walk into the Liverpool's home changing room, there's a space where Diogo Jota's place was. There's one within the training ground, I'm led to believe, as well. So when you think of that, there's constant reminders. Every 20th minute the song's sung, and that is part and parcel of it. And the players, it's hard to say they've got to deal with it, because they might never deal with it, or they might deal with it differently at different times. So that's very difficult for them. The players that have come into Liverpool this summer, I can imagine that was a very difficult situation for a lot of these players, walking into a changing room where you've got a group of people who are grieving losing a friend, and they didn't really know him that well. They've probably played against him at some point, but then you're walking into a changing room and you're trying to gel and bond with people, and they're not really in the mood to do that. But from what I've seen from the outside looking in, they tried to do the best by the players who've come into the football club, and then it's how quickly they settle. But there's always that other side to it, Steve. You're coming into Liverpool Football Club and it's a massive weight on your shoulders and big price tags. Well, I didn't even get onto United.
No, that's fine, but I think it's a really good point. We had a big discussion about it a couple of weeks ago on Premier League Sunday with Nader Manur and Izzy Christensen, who were both speaking really powerfully about how you deal with grief on an individual basis during your career. And the upshot is, and you've just touched on it, it's different for every person. Some people will already be feeling it, others might not feel it for 6 weeks or 6 months or 6 years. It's not linear.
No, and there can't be an element of looking at other people and saying, well, what's up with you if they've moved on a little bit quicker, because again, we deal with it differently, and for those who are finding it more difficult to deal with, then they need more support and more help, and whether that's the playing side of the squad or the staff as well that are involved, because you do live out of each other's pockets for long periods of time. You know these people inside out, and when you do lose someone, I can imagine how difficult it must be. And I'm not saying this was the same situation, but we had a situation at Aston Villa where Stilian Petrov got ill, and we lost a key player within our changing room who rallied us, who led by example, who was always an influence on us, where when times weren't easy, he'd pick you up and he'd make you feel better about yourself. He had that quality about him. And having spoken to people at Liverpool, Diogo Jota was exactly that type of person. Always a happy-go-lucky type of guy. Came from very humble background and understood what it meant to play for Liverpool and how difficult the road had been to get there. So he enjoyed every single moment of it and picked people up when they were perhaps feeling a little bit down. And when you do lose someone out the changing room like that, it's very difficult to replace that. You'll never replace it as such, and you never want to replace it, but you've got to find someone else who can sort of fill that gap. And that's obviously something that the players and the staff are finding extremely difficult to deal with at the moment.
Yeah, very, very good point. Stephen, John, thank you very much. So we'll be focused on Anfield after the second half. Commentary at Tottenham. There's the first whistle of the second half. Jonathan Pearce.
Thanks very much. Still think we've got rain falling down here as we kick off the second half on a greasy surface. Tottenham in the lily white and the navy blue, kicking them from left to right in the second half. No changes from the managers from the first half lineup. Spurs with Vicario in goal, a back four of Porro, Danso, Van de Ven and Spence. Danso came into the starting lineup very late because Romero got an injury in the warm-up. Bentancur and Paulinho holding, and then you've got Kudus, Simon, Odegaard behind Tell up front. Aston Villa played the ball out for a throw in. The Spurs on the halfway line in their claret and blue with the white shorts. Martinez in goal, Cash, Konza, Torres and Digne the back four, Kamara and Onana holding, and then you've got Guesson on the right hand side, Rodgers in the 10, John McGinn on the left, and Daniel Marlon the main front runner. Very good goal by Morgan Rodgers, equalised the game. He's just touched the ball out wide to this near side. Onana's got through a lot of work. Villa under good pressure here. Simon's leading the press for Spurs, but they get it away. Look for Marlon, the out ball up front. His touch is poor. Tottenham redeem possession, and they'll go away down that left hand side. First words of the second half coming up in just a moment, because Spurs are on the attack. We'll go to Rob Green in a second. Here is Tottenham's Wilson. Odegaard draws the ball back 5 yards outside the penalty, a left-hand side. This in comes the cross eventually from Spence, headed through the penalty area, brought under control by Kudus. Spurs still with the advantage, still with possession. 1-1. Can they force the ball into the penalty area now? It's a little bit slow, the build-up, and Villa now have got so many players back. Not too sure how Tottenham are going to get their way through. Rob, your first thoughts on the second half?
Yeah, it was a keenly contested first half, and you're thinking one of very few opportunities, two real moments of quality. I'm just looking at the Tottenham front line. How are they going to link up and make the better use of this possession and the attacking moments that they get? Because we didn't get enough of Xavi Simons, we didn't get enough of Matthijs Tel in those options, in those areas. Kudus had that moment for the goal. He's been this standout performer for Tottenham out on this right-hand side in the attacking sense. But for Aston Villa, I think they did really well after that really slow start to get themselves back in the game. It's keenly contested because Tottenham are playing really, really high when Villa have got possession. They're almost saying, Rob, you've got to play through us and we're going to press onto you, we're going to make it difficult. And they're having some success from that already in this half.
Also Rob Green, former England goalkeeper. 2.5 minutes into the second half, it's 1-1. Well done Tommy Fleetwood, by the way. See, he won the World India Championship earlier on today, 2 shots in Delhi. Kota Nakajima. Well done to him. Big day in India. That's the reason why I'm mentioning it, with India against England in the Women's World Cup cricket. That commentary is continuous on Sports Extra right now. And Liverpool-Manchester United to come here a little bit later on. Villa have possession on the halfway line. It's Pau Torres from Villarreal, played there, came to Villa in July 23. Part of this Villa build-up. In comes across from Digne. It's a heavy touch back there by Danso, and then Digne crashes into him. The ball is out of play for a throw-in. The Villa players go to the referee and claim here that Digne was fouled by Danso. I'm not too sure whether that's the case, Rob. But anyway, he stayed down now. What did you make of this?
Oh, John McGinn's always got something to say, hasn't he? I mean, he's just steps through the ball and onto Luca Digne. It's unfortunate. Nothing more. But I think Luca Digne thought better of it by the time he saw him running towards Danso, and thought, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure I really want to go full-blooded into this, and paid the price, really.
Nothing wrong with the Danso challenge. In fact, he won the ball and nutmegged Digne as he played it out for a throw-in, but Digne then got crunched by the follow-through of a big man. Kevin Danso, 6'3", muscular, the Austrian international, and he's still down at the moment. Luca Digne getting some treatment. So we'll go to Exeter against Harlequins in the Prem. Owen Gwyneth.
Yeah, Exeter 3, Harlequins 0, 10 minutes gone. Conditions tricky. Henry Slay's penalty the difference at the moment, but the wind's favouring Exeter, so they should hope to have a healthy lead by half-time. Exeter 3, Harlequins 0.
Brilliant play about the rise of Exeter Rugby Club down there in the theatre in Exeter. I think it's closed now, actually. Very, very good play, and written by Ashley Farrow, the playwright down there. He wrote Life on Mars, you remember that on TV, and used to open the batting for the school with a very, very, very good opening batsman. I can't remember his name, but anyway, yep. We were astounding. Limited overs. If we, after 10 overs of a limited overs game, Rob, if we were 8 for 0 after 10 overs, we'd be delighted, I'll tell you. We would be delighted.
Steady. Were you steady?
Steady, yeah. Took the shine off the ball. That was us, but he's a very good playwright, and he's. I hope that travels, and I hope that tours that play. We'll wait and see. Still down here, Digne. They'll be going through the concussion protocol here, won't they?
Yeah, he's going through some pain, and I think it was the landing as well as the tackle. So he's got a real problem, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with Danso's challenge in the end after all that.
Looks really shaky. If there is any suggestion of concussion, he won't be able to carry on. 2 physios are with him at this moment in time. He's having words with Danso. There's nothing Danso could have done here. Absolutely nothing he could have done. They've got Matson on the bench, they've got Lindelof on the bench, and Digne clearly unhappy about this. They just run, they come together.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching the replays over and over again, and you're trying to make a case for Luca Digne. He does clatter into the back of him, because that's Luca Digne turning his back on Danso.
OK, now we resume. Let's go to India against England. Kevin Howells.
Not a lot has changed, apart from the fact that at 61 for 2, India are finding the boundaries a little too easy, I think, from an England perspective. 289 is a very tough target for India to chase. Lost a couple of wickets along the way. Decent bowling from England. To say those boundaries are now coming quite thick and fast for Kaur and Smitry. They move the score to 65 for 2 in the 14th over.
Thanks very much, Kevin. Back with him a little bit later on. That's a good crossfield ball by Tottenham Xiao Paulinho from right to left, 40 yards away to the left-hand touchline. Odegaard scuttling forward, low centre of gravity, orange boots with the tinted hair, pulls back then to Spence. On it goes to the right-hand side. Paulinho, Spurs switch from left to right. They're now at 5 yards in from the right-hand touchline, with Kudus trying to take on McGinn. Good defending by the Villa captain. Throw in to Tottenham. Very, very difficult to tell which way this game's going to go at 1-1.
Yeah, there's two really unpredictable front lines, not really tested. Marlon with Gesand in the main, and then you're looking at Tottenham with Odegaard and Patel and Kudus and Simons. You're not really sure what they're going to bring either, so looking towards the bench for both managers might be key to the second half.
Watkins to come on for Villa perhaps, and Richarlison for Tottenham Hotspur. In comes a long through from Danso, all headed towards the far post by a defender. There's a shot by Odegaard that's blocked. The Tottenham fans behind the goal want a penalty. The referee, Simon Hooper, is suggesting no, it's not. Demonstrably so. What's he suggesting there with his body language and crossing his hand across his chest there? He was headed back through his own penalty area dangerously by the Villa defender, hit by Odegaard. The hands were in front of the chest of, is it Konza?
Yeah.
That cannot be a penalty from there.
Well, it's hit him on the chest, so it can't be a penalty, but also it's a brilliant block by Konza. He knew nothing about it.
Arms were across his chest. If it hit an arm, which I don't think it did it? And the referee was really demonstrative under the appeals, as if to say, don't be silly. It's going to be a throw to Spurs, left-hand side now. You are talking 30 yards from goal, hurled in by Danso, well met in the air. It's a good header away there by Amadou Onana, who's done his fair share of good defending today from that deep line midfield position. But Spurs still have possession with Pedro Porro, this abrasive 26-year-old fullback, and he plays it out wide to Kudus in the penalty area. Low cross, and then Conte gets something on it. It's scrambled away by Villa, not too far. Bentancur rolls to Paulinho. There's the shot! Wide of goal. Martinez may have got something on it. It's a corner kick. If he did get something on it, it was a flying save.
Real pressure from Spurs, and they really should be leading. Kudus in that position, couldn't find his man. Paulinho with a good strike and a good save from Martinez. But the chance from Odegaard before, 6 yards out, really should be scoring. When you're on top in games like this, you've got to score. They started the first half flying and scored. Thinking this is a big moment for Tottenham.
Super save by Martinez at full stretch, big 6'2" elastic goalkeeper. In comes across from Spence. Martinez has blocked another one, but a flag is raised. It was Bentancur, I think, with a header far side of the 6-yard area. But the linesman on this near side, Adrian Holmes, has raised his flag for offside. All Spurs at the moment.
Yeah, really good save again from Martinez. He wasn't to know it was offside, but take your pick. There's about 3 of them offside, and the Villa lined him well to get up from the short corner. Just standing and reacting with his feet, Martinez. But Konsa, that responsible role we were talking about before, just taking a knee there, just killing the game a little bit, just to say, yeah, we're away from home. We're rocking a little bit, let's kill the game.
Martinez is taking his time here, 10 minutes into the second half. Boos from the Tottenham fans before he finally leathers it away towards Donyell Marlin. One in the air by Danso, who's had a fine game as the late understudy for Christian Moreira, injured in the warm-up. The spotlight here from the TV cameras is on Emi Martinez, has been FIFA Goalkeeper of the Year. There's some suggestion in some quarters he's past his best. Would he still be the best on the planet for you, Rob?
No, he never has been. So he's one that I think he had his moment of being great, but looking around at Courtois, he's one that has been the best in club football for quite some time. Belgium not reaching the heights, but year in, year out, Courtois for me has been the best.
Villa have possession. He's a great goalkeeper, Emi Martins. A lot of fans, I think, find him hard to like because of his rather abrasive character. Carries on. That's a good ball by McGinn into the penalty, and Marlon gets a shot squeezed away side netting. Suddenly they were in there, Villa. Slightly off balance as he hit it, found side netting.
Yeah, really cut open. McGinn finding a really nice position inside left. Marlon, it was difficult because he was closely marked by Danso and Van der Ven. And Van der Ven, you're feeling, had it under control the whole time. Marlon, he's not on his favoured side and certainly wasn't his favoured strike, but it's a moment for Villa because they were rocking, they killed the game for a minute or two, and then all of a sudden opened up Tottenham.
They were getting Richarlison ready to come on at the start of, well, this is the start of 7 games in 21 days for them. Still in the League Cup in Europe, of course, as well. It's Xavi Simons, edge of the penalty, a running square. Couldn't get the shot away. Paulinho does, but it's a grubber and away wide. Simons carried and carried and carried. He's now glaring at Paulinho. Perhaps not the wisest of actions to take against a very experienced teammate. Maybe have a look at himself for the fact he didn't get a shot away.
Just shoot. I mean, you're in the position you want to be, inside left, on your right foot. You've been there a million times in training, bending them into the far corner. Just do it.
And he didn't. He was coming in onto his favoured right foot, couldn't get the shot away. So Richarlison's going to come on any moment now then for Tottenham Hotspur. They do need a little bit of oomph up front. They've got inexperienced players up there. Simon 22 in the 10. Odegaard on the width is 20. Kelly's 20. They've given it away inside their own penalty area here, Tottenham. And the flag is raised anyway, so it wouldn't account counted for offside. We've got team news from Anfield. John Murray.
Liverpool's same team as against Chelsea before the internationals, so Konate and Gravenberch are both fit, and the front line is Salah, Isak and Gakpo. As for Manchester United, a couple of changes from their last Premier League team. Sesko's only a substitute, as is Yoro, so Cunha and Maguire are both aimed to start, and goalkeeper Lamens will make his second appearance for Manchester United here at Anfield.
Tottenham awaiting the substitute. Stephen Warnock with John up there at Anfield. I think he posted pictures on social media this week of him on the golf course again this week, Stephen Warnock. I think he spends 8 days out of every 7 on the golf course, to be honest. Now Odegaard for Tottenham in comes across and cleared away by the Villa defence. It was Konzo leathered it away, but Villa are on the back foot at the moment with 58 minutes gone at the Tottenham Stadium. Odegaard wriggling into the penalty area. He's had a lively game, draws it back to Seaman again, he won't shoot. Rolls square to Porro, right-hand corner of the penalty area. In comes across, deflected off McGinn and into the grateful hands of Emi Martinez, who flops onto the ball.
This must be so frustrating as a Tottenham fan. 15 minutes in, you've been on top, and yet you're still not pulling the trigger. You've got your players where you want them to be, and you seemingly got the Tottenham Hotspur saving really going. Your players won't pull the trigger and get the shots away.
Listen to the roar now of the Tottenham Stadium. Odegaard gets him on the edge of the feet. Here's Simons, left-hand corner of the penalty area. Jed Spence arrives in support onto his right foot, whips across towards the far post, looking for Kudus coming in. He athletically leaps and thrusts himself at the ball, but can't keep it in play. It's a goal kick to Villa at 1-1 with Liverpool Man United to come. Match of the day tonight on BBC One at 10:30. Mark Chapman, Troy Deeney and Shay Given discussing, analysing all the action from today. You can see highlights of Dundee 2, Celtic 0, and the Saturday Premiership action on Sports Scene in Scotland on BBC One Scotland from 11:20. And right here now at the Tottenham Stadium we are seeing the arrival of Richarlison, and he comes on, and Matisse Tell, one of the youngsters I was telling you about, departs. It's only his 8th game since joining from this season. It's only his 28th game since coming in on loan last season. So he's very inexperienced at this level. Richarlison with bags of that.
Yeah, it was a like-for-like swap with Richarlison, and we were saying there's a little bit of sort of inconsistency with how Tottenham's front line have been playing. Well, they've now got Richarlison on, which means one thing: unpredictability.
And so often in football, one team makes a substitution, the other team reacts, and Villa are making their changes. Watkins is going to come on, and Emi Buendia is going to come on as well. Guesson departs for them, and the other Villa player to go off is Daniel Marlon. But we thought Watkins would make an appearance. Yep. What do you think of Marlon's performance today?
Periphery, hasn't he? He's not really got into the game, and you feel that he's starved, he's supply. I don't think the conditions helped him, because the ball's over the top, which he might have wanted as centre forward, has been cut off by the zip on the surface, but also with Danso and Van der Ven playing so aggressively against him, he's been kept out of the game quite well.
McGinn for Aston Villa, 25 yards out to the edge of the penalty area, swerves a shot. It was veering from the minute he left his boot, left-footed he hit it, and it veered out wide beyond the goal for a goal kick. Update from Exeter Harlequins, Owain Gwynedd.
Exeter 3, Harlequins 0. Still Henry Slay's penalty the difference. The conditions limiting the teams. A lot of kicking, a lot of scrumming, a lot of errors at the moment. It remains Exeter 3, Harlequins 0.
Conditions filthy around the country today. I think that's the way John Murray brilliantly described it up at Anfield today. So it's going to be a throw to be taken by Spurs back here, where I think it stopped raining momentarily. I was with someone last night and he cheerfully told me that it was going to rain in the southeast from today until February. Well, that's not true. Here's Buendia, cheerful soul anyway. Buendia inside the centre circle, did really well with the wriggle, and he frees McGinn, and McGinn out wide here towards Lucadinha. Can he measure the crossing for Aston Villa? Too strong, headed away by Spence, comes out the edge of the penalty area, just slipped by McGinn to the right hand side. Matty Cash between the box and the far touchline, draws it back to McGinn, settles on the ball with his orange boots. They play backwards again to Torres. He's still well inside the Tottenham half at 1-1. Into the box it goes, looking here for Onana, and I think he's fouled his man. He has. He's fouled Kevin Dancer, who I have to say has been excellent for Spurs today.
Yeah, really good foil with Van der Ven, and between the two of them it's been seamless stepping in. But just moments from Villa, they rode the storm in this second half. They conceded early in the first half, and you're thinking, gosh, they could get blown away here, but you're thinking at the start of the second half, ride the storm, and they have done that. They're playing their way back into it. Wendy is coming in on the left-hand side, which has put McGinn out on the right-hand side, but he's drifting all the way inside.
Watkins plays to Rodgers, looks for the return, just let the ball to Rodgers. 10 yards outside the Tottenham penalty. Tottenham can't get out of their half at the moment. They might do now here, with Kudus initially turning away from Dinu, struggling to keep up with him. How to look up Kudus. No one really in a position to accept the ball, so he has to nudge it back 5 or 6 yards to Paulinho, then square to Bentancur and away to Spence, and eventually they find the left-hand touch. 1-1, 63 minutes gone on 5 Live from the BBC. And here's Rodrigo Bentancur. When he's on form, I always think Spurs are a better side, cultured player. It's level here. Start of a massive week for them. Spurs have Monaco away on Tuesday, then Everton away, then they have the League Cup tie as well. Villa out of that competition. Nonetheless, games against Go Ahead Eagles away, then Man City at home, Liverpool away. Tough run of fixtures before they have Maccabi Tel Aviv in that rather controversial game at home. And they have possession here, Tottenham. On the left, Odegaard, he's scampered all game long on that left-hand side. Simon in support. Jed Spence, very tight little triangle there, though. That's well guarded by Villa. Good shape about the Villa defence on that far side as they guarded against that triangle of passes. Here's Kevin Danso. Centre circle swaps passes with Bentancur at right. That's at 1-1. Danso pressurised by Watkins to Porro. Porro fouled by Buendia. It is a foul, but the way he spun, writhed and dropped doesn't help anyone in the game at all.
No, and it was one that Bentancur really needed, because he was losing the ball there. And they'd done really well out on the right hand side, and they got themselves sorted on the left hand side, and when they didn't really need to do it, but so it was a gift a bit for Bentancur.
Didn't really hurt him at all, the challenge. It's a free kick. Porro straight up, and he will take it. Not missed a game for Spurs this season. He's 12th in all competitions. To Kudus, who's missed just the one. 1-1. Kudus and Porro, I think, got their wires crossed there, but Kudus has gone down the line. He's beaten the two of them. In comes the cross, and McGinn slides in to nudge it away 10, 15, 20 yards for a throw to Tottenham on the right. When Kudus gets the ball, people get to their feet.
He's such an exciting player, and you just want him to have the same confidence on his right foot that he does with his left, because he's kind of a little bit not predictable, but you just know that the quality's not going to be there when it gets out onto his right hand side.
Danso will take the throw. I don't know what's been said to him by a Spurs fan lower down in the stand, but he's got a massive smile on his face, chuckling as well as he drops the towel that he's used to wipe the wet ball to get some purchase on it. He's got a long throw on him. Long throws, apparently a new tactic in the game of football, long throws. Go back a few years, you'll see some. Danso, the goalkeeper's come. The throw went over his head. He hit his own player there. It's not yet away. Will it come to Richarlison inside the penalty area? He's tucked the shirt of a Villa defender. On we go. What was Martinez going about his business there? It's Kudus inside the penalty area now for Tottenham. Pressure is still on Villa, and he's now flagged offside. So it's a free kick to Aston Villa. What happened to Martinez there, Rob?
Well, he got it wrong. He got away with one earlier on in the season against Brentford, where a goal got disallowed, and he went to catch the ball and didn't, and just got it completely wrong. That time he's gone short for the long throw. He's gone beyond the near post, and it's way over his head. And he's chatting to Simon Hooper now to say, "Oh, what happened?" He said, "Well, you're having a fight with Van der Ven," and realistically was nowhere near the ball. Threw himself to the floor. Van der Ven's not doing a lot in there.
Rush of blood to the head of Emi Martinez. Danso, meanwhile, has been booked for a challenge as he rushed into Dini's. A little bit of bad blood between those two continuing. We're almost midway through the second half here at the Tottenham Stadium at 1-1. Don't forget live commentary of the US Grand Prix from 8 o'clock tonight on 5 Live. Damon Hill, part of the team. Went to the same school as our producer Rob Nothman here today, actually. Rob was 2 years younger than him in school. It's going to be a throw to be taken by Spurs on the right-hand side. It'll be taken then by Pedro Porro. Imagine if you went up to someone to do an interview and you said, superstar, right? And you got up to him and said, oh, by the way, did you know I was 2 years younger than you in school? Would you do that, Rob?
My school doesn't exist, so it's been written out of history, but I can imagine Rob exactly doing that, yeah.
I bet Damon Hill was mortified. Throw in to be taken then by Danso. Throws over the halfway line. 1-1, 68 minutes play. Richarlison battling for Spurs, never got off the ground. Has it now though on the ground and turns, and there's a strong challenge on him by Onana. Swept in, good challenge, greasy top surface, lovely for a slide challenge. 1-1 it is. Buendia. That challenge by Porro though was over exuberant. It's a free kick and words between Porro and Emiliano Buendia. And it's going to be a free kick for Aston Villa. Getting a little bit feisty out there now.
Yeah, tetchy, isn't it? And it's all in that midfield. It's so hotly contested. Spurs shirts now have gone from a white to an off-green in patches because this pitch isn't perfect, and they put a lot of green paint on the pitch to make it look a lot better than it is, and it's all rubbing off on the shirts now.
Here's Here's Pau Torres in possession for the claret and blue of Aston Villa, not West Ham. Here's Torres to his right-hand side, available for a pass is Konza, and on the far side he finds Cash. Back again then to Ezri Konza, and now to Martinez back in goal. Villa holding possession, trying to draw the sting out of the game really with 21 minutes to go. It's a high clearance lofted by Martinez. It comes back Spurs way. Porro, scratchy sort of a game, constant turnover of possession. Kudasi's foul. Was it? No. The referee says no. Foul by Kamara as he drew back on his shirt, and Villa will clear away to the left-hand side, and Watkins will fly down this line. Good challenge on him, really good challenge on him by Tottenham's Polinia, and it's going to be a throw. 1-1 it stays on 5 Live. Approaching the last 20 minutes, Rob, what do you think's going to happen?
You're looking and you're thinking it's about time where the next goal could be critical. Spurs had their moment, Spurs had their ascendancy, and much like the first half, Villa played their way back into it. You're just feeling with Villa's Ollie Watkins on the pitch and Buendia coming back into favour now.
Continue with the cross, blocked by Porro, and it's going to be a corner kick here for Aston Villa, who've come out of their shell in the last few moments. And this corner kick I think will probably be taken by Matty Cash, who comes all the way across to take it. It is him. You can hear the boos from the Tottenham fans. Pau Torres is up there as a threat in the penalty area. He's 6'3". Konza's another 6-footer. Inside the penalty area, Tottenham have all 11 back now. 1-1 with just under 20 minutes to go. Very delicately balanced here, important game. Both of them on good unbeaten runs at the moment. Both of them entering European weeks as well. Big games to come. Big points to be won here today. The cross goes into the middle, headed away by Danso. He's been a real force of nature today. Drops him again. There's space on the right-hand side of the box for Konza to get the cross in, but it didn't beat the first man, who was little Wilson on about. And he turns it away. We've got a try in the Rugby Exeter Harlequins. Owain Gwinnett.
We've had a couple of tries here, both going the way of Exeter's Chiefs. Faye with both with the first one from a cross-field kick from Henry Slade. Slade converts, then gets on the right side of the bounce and gallops through from the halfway line to score under the post. He converts again. Exeter 17 points to 0 up after half an hour.
Drawing away from the Quins. Aston Villa in possession, halfway inside the Spurs half. 1-1, 71 minutes play. In comes a cross from Cash. Veered away, poor cross, all the way out towards the right-hand touchline, and galloping away down this line then is Joao Polinia, and it's blocked and cleared away by the left full-back Luca Coutinho, who came across, but it's a strong run by Polinia. He's a big, strong lad. Eloquent speaker as well in English. Tottenham are going to make a couple more changes. They're going to bring on Randall Kolo-Muani, who's been desperately unlucky with injuries since joining, and they're going to bring on this hugely impressive youngster Lucas Bergvall.
Luca Dina has been in the wars today. He's taken some blows from big guys. Paolini is the latest one, just to clatter into him. I think he'll be looking at the clock going, I've got 18 minutes to get through this alive.
I think they're winding him up, aren't they, as well?
Yeah.
18 minutes to go. Villa complaining that Tottenham are taking too long on a throw. Wendy is there to find Ollie Watkins holding it up. He's got the defender Danso behind him, just inadvertently flipped Danso in the face, but Tottenham win it back. And Kudus tries to get beyond Luca Digne. The last touches off the Tottenham man, it's going to be an Aston Villa throw. And what do you make of young Bergwijn, who's going to come on for Spurs?
Oh, he's been a shining light last season, wasn't he, really? With such a disappointing end to miss out on the final and come back from injury now. And through all the difficulties last season, to keep going as a youngster, he's been just the confidence and the engine and the ability that he's shown to just keep going in games despite everything that was going against him was so impressive.
Just to refresh midfield, he will. Now Kolo Muani, just the 14 minutes for Spurs against Villarreal since joining on loan from PSG, where he had a couple of years, really hit the heights at PSG that he had done at Eintracht. And he picked up 2 league medals at the Parc des Princes in his time there. It's going to be a throw to Tottenham. 1-1 on 5 Live with Liverpool against Manchester United to come. Don't forget the Grand Prix as well at 8 o'clock tonight on 5 Live. Champions League this week, Tuesday, Arsenal against Atletico Madrid. For a full week of European football for you. And it's going to be a throw that Pedro Porro will eventually take. Some of the pace and intensity has gone out of the game, and that ball is chopped long and is easily gathered by Martinez. Would you agree, Rob?
Yeah, I think that opening 15 minutes of the second half really did take a lot out of the players. I don't think they could keep it going, and this pace I think suits Villa a bit more. I don't think that press is nearly as threatening from Spurs. They couldn't keep it up, much like in the first half.
And rhythm of games tend to disappear with the multi-substitutions. Here's Kudus now, advancing to the Villa penalty area. Dawdles on the ball, lacked just a sharpness of decision-making there, and Villa will get it away. And in terms of sharpness and of decision-making, I think Villa look the better team at the moment. It's long by Buendia, Watkins on the shoulder of the last defender, right-hand side of the penalty area, under control the ball, but I'll tell you what, Spence is nagging away at him and did really well. And then Spence gets very, very close to Kamara, has a couple of nibbles, no free kick given. Simon Hooper's had an excellent game, the referee, by the way. Here's Buendia into John McGinn and out to the right-hand side now, just between the far touchline and the penalty, very wide towards that far touchline is Kamara. Villa on the attack, 1-1, quarter of an hour to go. It's a game that's pulsated. It's risen in terms of tempo and has now dropped off a little bit. Here's Konza for Aston Villa. They can pick up a win here. It would be a notable result for them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just thinking that they're just about edging it now.
In comes a cross from Cash, driven against Spence. It's a corner. Listen to the Villa fans in that far corner of the stadium, a mighty stadium. Let's have an update from India, England, Kevin Houts.
Should always be a heavyweight contest, this, and it looks like it as well. 289 for India to win, and England got their work cut out, because India now 100 for 2 in the 20th over. Harmanpreet Kaur and Smitri Mandana finding the boundary just a little too easy at this stage. 289 to win, India, 100 for 2 in the 20th.
It's 5 and over then, isn't it? They're striking out at the moment. That's a good start for them. England had them about 13 for 1, I think it was, at one stage. Now it's going to be an Aston Villa corner kick then on the far side from us. Tottenham with all 11 back. They still can't make those substitutions. In comes the corner kick, comes off Bentancur's header, and then it's smacked away on the full volley by Palinha to the halfway line. Last man back is Mati Cash, the Polish international, who whips it away to the right. How about that for a take by Digne? Villa here menacing. McGinn cuts in, shoots, scores! Buendia was! Buendia for Aston Villa. Cut in from the right-hand side. But the take from Digne and the build-up was exceptional. And the finish was so cute. Demi Buendia, third of the season. Lovely to see him back playing football after his horrible knee injury. And they've just been pushing forward a little bit more. And I think that's deserved on the run of play.
What a goal. This is out of the top draw from Mati Cash initially. Just a volleyed diagonal ball out to Luca Digne, and his touch is equally as perfect. And from there, Buendia's got the time, because it just gets dragged out, Jed Spence, and he's got the ability to step onto his left foot. And all those opportunities Spurs players had to pull the trigger early on in this second half, and they didn't. Buendia just did it. And he said, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to fire this one away. And he's found the corner perfectly. And as you say, JP, they've been edging away in this second half, and they've found their moment, and it's been taken brilliantly.
It was. Vicario immediately protested, but Rodgers was stood in his eye line in an offside position. But it's been checked, and the goal stands, and I think that's quite right as well. And that's his third in 4 games. And Aston Villa have won their last 8 matches when he scored. Good omens.
Well, they rode the storm. They couldn't ride the storm in the first half. That first 10 minutes of the first half, they conceded. But in this second half, they learned, and they just took the sting out of the game and said, well, we'll play the game at our pace. Slowed the game down and slowly worked their way up the pitch time and time again. And then what quality from the halfway line all the way into the bottom corner. The quality is exceptional.
On come those substitutes, and I think Spurs fans will ask the question afterwards, why were those substitutes about 6 or 7, maybe even more minutes waiting to come on? Why didn't the Spurs player just hook the ball out of play so they could make the substitutions? Bergvall on, Colomboani on, Audebert and Simons off.
You're looking at those two players, and they were the cause of frustration for Tottenham, that when they were in the ascendancy, they didn't have that ruthless edge, and this is what Tottenham haven't had, is that ruthless edge this season that you're looking at coming back from behind. Yeah, they've done that, but when they've gone in front, can they go out of sight? And they haven't done that, and they've been made to pay today.
Lost to Bournemouth earlier on the season. Last season they lost 10 of their 19 home league games. That's, what, 53% in my crude maths of home games lost. Can't lose as many home games as that and expect to finish top 4, top 5 or even higher. But they've got a long throw in now from Danso with 11 minutes to go. In it comes, a good leap there by Onana to head it away, then nudged out by McGinn. Watkins holds it up for Aston Villa, suspicion of a handball by him, but he's done brilliantly in holding it up. Then he ran into a solid challenge by Paulinho as he held onto the ball too long. Porro, good cross, dangerous to the far side. Danso attacks it, and Colomboani rather attacks it, and he's collided there with Matty Cash, and a free kick has been given.
Really good defending. Get back, get in your line, put your bodies on the way, put your bodies on the line, and from there just hope that you can kill the game a bit. He certainly did that. I'm talking about the appeals for the offside. We're seeing the replays now. Rodgers wasn't offside. He was certainly in front of Vicario, but such was the strike. I mean, Vicario can't do anything. It's a brilliant taken goal, and it's just bent perfectly in the far corner. I mean, you could have 5 players stood there, you still wouldn't get there.
Aston Villa fans in fine fettle around the far side, the far left-hand corner from us. But Tottenham have possession with Lucas Bergvall, only 19 still, bursting down this right-hand touchline, carrying with confidence. Onana's gone down crumpled in pain as Bergvall seemed to run into him. We've got a try in the rugby. Exeter Harlequins. Owen?
Yes, a try for Exeter, third. Exeter 24, Harlequins 0. Harvey Skinner with a chip and a chase and a hack through, proving too quick and too strong to flop on the ball for a third score, converted by Henry Slade. Exeter 24, Quins 0.
Fledgling days of the Premier season. Here come substitutions for Aston Villa. Coutinho, I think, is going to depart, and Onana is going to depart as well. Ian Matson is coming on for Aston Villa. So they've still got one substitute left. Coutinho's day is done. He has been in the wars.
There's a sigh of relief from Luca Dean. Matson comes in as a right flank replacement. Ross Barkley in the centre midfield as well. And I have to say that out of the substitutions, Aston Villa have been made. Theirs have been the better ones, and they've made a difference within the game, made an impact. Most potently with Emi Buendia. Just looking to see now, with 8 minutes to go plus injury time, there will be quite a bit just to see this through. It'll be a fantastic away performance by Villa, thinking 1-0 down after 5 minutes and all at sea. Tottenham rocking, stadium jumping. You're just hoping beyond hope you can get something from it. Now, 7 minutes away from this great form continuing for them.
Barkley's only had 7 minutes this season. He had a calf problem late last campaign. He was out from January virtually through to the last weeks of the season. Maatsen has been dovetailed in with Dino this season. As Villa go long, look for Watkins over the top. What an exciting day of sport, really building up for you with Liverpool, Manchester United to come, the cricket ongoing, live on Sportsnet, the Grand Prix to come, the match of the day, BBC One at 10:30. Maatsen tried to turn it away for Villa, right down by the corner flag, turned it straight to Kudus, who will now face up, try and run at him, flicks it back up the line, deflects off Femi Buendia, and it's going to be a throw to Tottenham, who led early on through Rodrigo Bentancur after 5 minutes. Rodgers levelled after 37 minutes, and then Buendia's put Aston Villa by 2-1 up with a cracking effort. Here's Van de Ven for Spurs. Right touchline, Porro. It's a lovely ball down the line to Bergvall if he can keep it in. Produce a cross, he's kept the ball in. We'll have a number of defenders back, and offside flag raised anyway. So it wouldn't count as a lovely ball down the line, but he's timed his run wrong. Bergvall went too early.
Well, they're in the closing stages now, Villa. Closing as in, we're going to finish this off and see this out, and every decision that goes for them is greeted by high fives in the back line. Just know how they've managed this game. They've managed themselves and managed moments within the game really, really well.
And Spurs are about to bring on Brennan Johnson. He's scored a couple of goals in his last couple of appearances against Aston Villa. Forward, of course. Not won over all the Tottenham fans, but he scored the famous goal that gave them silverware. And it's going to be a free kick here against Spurs, and Bergvall for the challenge on Kamara. Experienced player is Boubacar Kamara. He bought the free kick, really. The other substitute coming on for Spurs is Patrick Sarr. Spence will go off. Got news from the Rugby Exeter Harlequins while these substitutions are being made. Owen Gwinnett.
Exeter 24, Harlequins 0. 3 quick fire tries around the half-hour mark, giving the Chiefs a comfortable lead at the interval. A lead needed considering the favourable wind conditions. Faye Bosa crossed first, his 6th of the season. Conditions and the bounce of the ball played a part in Henry Slade and Harvey Skinner's scores. Slade converting all 4 efforts towards the sticks. Exeter 24, Harlequins 0.
Big lead for Exeter. Here comes the free kick then for Aston Villa. Ross Barkley away towards that far side. They're on the attack here. McGinn into the penalty area for Villa with 5 minutes to go. Bergvall is tucked up behind him, trying to stop him getting crossing, and Bergvall concedes the corner kick. The 2 substitutes for Spurs, by the way, just to confirm, Johnson and Sarr on. Spence and a tiring Bentancur off. We'll be at the cricket in just a couple of moments' time, but first of all, we'll have this corner kick here for Aston Villa. Another goal, and they settle it, you'd have thought. Listen to the Villa fans, the John McGinn song, as he prepares to take this corner. There's a bus queue on the penalty spot. Watkins is there, Pau Torres is there, in comes across, headed away importantly by Danso. The follow-up is by Maatsen. It's blocked, and Spurs can suddenly spring away here. Porro over the halfway line. Oh, it's a disappointing ball from him, but it deflected away, did it? No, it didn't. It's just a very poor ball forward. He's annoyed with himself. He punches the ground.
Could have been a real stroke of fortune, but Pedro Porro, not for the first time, just puts his hand up in apology and says, sorry guys, because that was bad. They really have struggled to get back into the game since going 2-1 down, and they need a moment of quality, a moment of inspiration, because there's nothing right now. It's Brennan Johnson almost as a left back, left wing back, playing 3 at the back. Now he's shuffling back into the back line. I mean, he struggles to defend at the best of times, so they're not leaving anything out there. Spurs are going to go for it, but they've just got to find a foothold in the game first of all.
Johnson, he has ahead of him Richarlison, checks back. Here's Van de Ven all inside the Spurs half, this with 2.5 minutes to go. Villa have managed the game very well, having gone behind 1-0, Rob, haven't they?
Yeah, you thought that offside goal was a kind of a key point when you're looking at going 2-0 down. There's a mountain to climb, but then all of a sudden they just took the sting out of the game, slowed it down. And I think Tottenham really did run out of puff a bit in both halves, which they started off with the right intentions and really good execution of a game plan.
Here's Watkins, full of running for Aston Villa, hold it up very well. Buendia back to Watkins. Opportunity here for Villa to wrap it up. Rodgers in the middle. Watkins looks far post area. McGinn was there. Tottenham cleared away, and McGinn shoulder to shoulder with Richarlison has put the Brazilian on the deck, and Spurs have a free kick as a consequence. And they've got to get on with it.
It's just worrying in these moments for Villa that you're thinking you've had 2 opportunities there and you've given the ball away in an attacking sense. Old school, I know, but the corner flag is a good option at these moments.
Spurs unbeaten in 7 going into this, but this would be a 15th league defeat in 27 games, including the wretched run last year when they finished 17th, the lowest ever finish in a Premier League. Change of management, change of mood, change of hope, but this will dampen the spirits here unless they can do something in the last minute of the 90, because Danso will take the throne, and we are rapidly approaching 89 minutes at the Tottenham Stadium. He wipes the ball with that white towel, drops it onto the sodden turf, springs into the throw, in it comes, it's loose. Van der Ven challenged for it, but Aston Villa will run it away with Rodgers. Just drops his shoulder, goes inside Bergvall. It's got Buendia to his left hand side. Got a great run through the middle by Barkley. Again, the Aston Villa squandered possession, when if they hold the ball they win the game, and Tottenham will attack now with Kudus. He's dispossessed as well, and Aston Villa now surely will just hold on to it with Rodgers out here on the touchline.
Just put it in the corner. Just kick the ball towards the corner flag and chase it.
Got possession here, Aston Villa, and they look for Watkins, and he's isolated with Van der Ven, and he's got McGinn arriving, goes outside Van der Ven. Good recovering challenge by the big Tottenham Dutch defender, who blocks it away for a corner kick.
Oh, John McGinn's absolutely remonstrating with Ollie Watkins, because he didn't know he was making an overlapping run to the same angle, and he was the extra man. He was free. That's 3 opportunities now Villa have had since going 2-1 up that they've squandered. Wondering, do Tottenham in these last 7 minutes of injury time get another chance?
7 minutes of stoppage time on a wet and bedraggled October Sunday afternoon in North London. Corner kick to Aston Villa, who lead by 2-1. In it comes to the near post. Richarlison got a back header on. Kudus nods it out of the penalty area. Returned to him by Randall Colomwani, and suddenly they've got an overload of 3 against 2. Needed a quality ball from Kudus from right wing across to the far side. Wasn't delivered. Villa cleared away. Something's got to give here, because Villa on the attack. They've got a centre half playing centre forward. Pau Torres, not too sure his manager will be too impressed by that this late on. And he's not. He's just screamed at him. And Pau Torres understood the language. Well, he would, wouldn't he? And he certainly understand the gist of the words, and he's trotting back now with a flea in his ear. Here he is.
They're keeping the ball. For the first time, you just think, just control the game, keep the ball. And it's taken till injury time for someone to do something sensible.
Aston Villa have possession here. They're inside their own half. They lead 2-1. We've had a minute and a quarter of the 7 minutes of stoppage time. Oh, I was praising them for managing the game.
Yeah.
And they've just let too many turnovers occur. Here's Barkley, centre circle, nicks it through to Watkins, lays it back. Tottenham was standing off him. Barkley, crunched by Bergvall. Buendia forward, Watkins surely offside. Couldn't bring it under control anyway. Flag raised, free kick, Tottenham. They want to play on. The referee says, yes, go on, you've got possession. And Bergvall now for Spurs with the striking blonde hair out to chunky Porro. Porro down the line here. Is a run from Kudus, fleet of foot. Good challenge by Matson at the full stretch to get it away for a corner kick for Tottenham. And the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium noise rises to a crescendo. That great wave of a stadium at the South Stand end of the ground. They're all on their feet there. All the Spurs fans at the old Park Lane end of the ground. And it's going to be a corner kick to be taken then by Kudus in the far old shelf stand. They're not standing, not surprised. Expensive seats those. It's going to be a corner kick here now for Tottenham. Going to be taken by Kudus. At the far post you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Tottenham players In it comes, over the head of Richarlison, nodded back into the middle by Van der Ven. It's loose, big air kick by Kolo Muani. Sarr challenges for it, and calmly rolled back by Rodgers to the goalkeeper, who hacked it away for a throw.
Well, that was a glorious chance for Kolo Muani. What's that, 7 yards out? No challenge, just needs to make contact and get it on target, and you're hoping it goes through bodies. And it was a complete air shot. I mean, he's gone with laces, just side-foot it in, it's incredible.
And so with the throw, in it comes. Thought he stepped over the touchline then as he threw it in, but anyway, we go on. Danso loses possession to Watkins, then brings him down, needs to watch it, he's on a yellow. Villa over the halfway line, got a good chance to counter here. Kamara slithered into it, good covering from Spurs led by Porro. And it's going to be a Villa throw, to the delight of the travelling Villa fans over there in the far segment of the ground, who've made the journey down, hoping that it will be 5 wins in a row for Villa after that awful opening to the season when they didn't win in their opening 6, beaten at Brentford, lost to Palace at home, beaten at Brentford in the League Cup as well. So they're hitting form. As we go into the autumn, Watkins can't be offside from a throw, and he's virtually on the dead ball line far side from us, with a hold-up play there. Went for the percentages, tried to deflect it for a corner kick, but it's not. It's a goal kick for Tottenham, and we're almost at 4 minutes of stoppage time.
Yeah, this is it for Spurs, and you're thinking they didn't show any signs of life really until this injury time, and they kept being given the ball. They've not managed to create any sort of pressure, sustained pressure since going behind, and that lack of real potency is going to be a worry for Thomas Frank, that they've done it in patches. And I said after 15 minutes of this second half, when you're on top, you've got to score, and they didn't, and it's really hurt them. And there's still a lot of work to do for Tottenham, despite if they come back and draw this game, which you can't see.
It's not exactly 1 step forward, 1 step back for them. It's more like 3 steps forward and a step back. Think of the home defeat by Bournemouth to drop points at Brighton. Here against Wolves in the 1-1, they draw at Bodo 2-2. Checkered season for Spurs. Can they get back into the game here? As they look for Richarlison, it's a brilliant header away by Cash under pressure, and then lifted over by Brennan Johnson. Howls from the Tottenham fans of frustration. Shot from inside the penalty area is gone. Well, let's judge this at least 10, 11, 12 feet wide, I would say.
Well, it's wild from Johnson. There's no control over the volley. He's got so much time. And Aston Villa, I mean, they're outnumbered in their own penalty area on a cross. It's incredible. We're in the 96th minute, and the ball's coming in. It's hopeful, and they're outnumbered 4v3 in there. You're thinking, you know where the ball's going to go. What are you all doing hanging around in the midfield? Defend the goal.
And hugely enjoyable sitting alongside Rob Green here today. On the Leeds and West Ham and Chelsea and England goalkeeper in Norwich, of course, as Tottenham's Vicario comes together and rolls it away then to Porro. Porro looking to switch to the left. Brennan Johnson's hanging out there to the left halfway inside the Villa half. They won't have many more times to attack Tottenham. We're into the last minute now. Johnson's cross towards the far post. Oh, what a terrific header that is away by Maatsen for Aston Villa under all sorts of pressure. And when Diaz slips it into the penalty area and Pau Torres completes the clearance to the halfway line, under 50 seconds of stoppage time to go, has to go into the mix here now. Vicario looks left, appeals for Villa for offside, and the flag is raised. And really, this late on, when you're chasing a game, you have to look along a line. You have to.
It's criminal. It's criminal, isn't it? And there's been so many schoolboy errors within this game. So much frustration around the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's enough for a lot of the Tottenham fans. They've seen enough. The Villa fans, away to our left-hand side, they're not going anywhere. They're enjoying this. 5 minutes in, they were looking down the barrel. Now it's another win on that run.
And lots of Tottenham fans are pouring out of the ground. The first trophy since 2008, won last season. During those drought years, 11 other English clubs won trophies. They thought the doldrum days were over, but another one has returned here today, because the full-time whistle blows, and it's win 5 in 5 for Aston Villa, and Tottenham's run comes to an end. They went ahead after 5 minutes to Rodrigo Bentancur, Rodgers level for Aston Villa with a good strike 8 minutes before half-time, and then Emi Buendia off the bench won it for them with a really lovely goal as well, after a sublime piece of control by Luca Digne, who was in the wars in the game. But Aston Villa win this by 2-1. Your overall thoughts?
Yeah, 3 goals of wonderful quality, brilliant ability, and it wasn't matched for the remaining time in the game. There's a lot of mistakes, a lot of unpredictable play, a lot of mismanagement within the game by teams, and Tottenham will be kicking themselves. They had moments of real ascendancy within the game, didn't take it, and from there Aston Villa, well, they just had to ride out those moments and see it through, and they did. And eventually 2 moments of quality outweighed the one which was enough for the win. They'll be thrilled. They will not care. Away from home, a goal down, 3 points, they're priceless.
And good to see a smile on Rob Green's face, because he came here, Steve, crestfallen after Norwich's home defeat by Bristol City yesterday.
Not as crestfallen as Liam Manning, I imagine. Rob, two equally brilliant but totally different goals for Villa there.
Yeah, there was one stunning strike, and the strike from Rodgers was actually matched by the strike of the volley of the pass by Matty Cash. Because you're there going, I tell you what, I'm not sure you should fancy this. The percentages were against him. Proper laces, sidewinder volley diagonally towards the corner flag, and Luca Digne's just plucked it in midair on the control with a wonderful touch, and from there it's just setting up Buendia, who finishes with aplomb. But yeah, those 2 strikes were really quite wonderful in a lot of game where there was a lot of balls being given away, a lot of misplaced passes, a lot of huffing and puffing at times. You know what, those Villa fans away there, they don't care.
What it is, Rob, is also even more sort of fuel to the fire around the idea that, as good as Thomas Frank has done since he's come in, he still hasn't managed to crack the thing that a lot of other Spurs managers haven't been able to crack, which is making this new house a home.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's a nice stadium. It's nice to come here, and you come here as a commentator.
Is that the problem?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely to come here. You want to come and play. I want to come and play. I never got this opportunity. But you don't, in my day, going to, and you don't want to mention it too loudly sitting here, but going to the Emirates when it first opened. What a lovely place to go and play football. It was like nothing else we'd ever been to. This is like nothing else. It makes you feel 100 foot tall as a player. It's not horrible at all. And Tottenham, they haven't found that answer yet, like you say, because a lot of teams enjoy it.
Is there an answer, though? Can they do anything about that?
Dig up the pitch. You could.
What, you said it's a curse?
No, I think it's the way that modern stadia is, and you're looking to say, well, what they have done, which is brilliant, is having the great big bank away to our right hand side as an end, which is a natural singing end, but there's not a lot of fans do that. There's not a lot of singing. There's a lot of corporate entertainment, and there's a lot of people coming in 15 minutes into the second half, and from that you're kind of just dawdling your way through a game. There's no real impetus, and so as an away team, it's very easy to manage a game in comparison to other stadia or something. You go to the Stadium of Light this season. You're going to feel it. You're going to know you're under the cosh from the start, from the fans.
Rob, Jonathan, great stuff. Thank you very much indeed. Rob Green and Jonathan Pearce at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 1, Aston Villa 2. Villa up to 10th, Spurs 6th in the Premier League table.